Good evening, and welcome to Wells High FYI. I'm Tracy Dickerson.
And I'm Jason Cheek. If you're looking for brain power, the 1989 academic decathlon team is where it's at. The team is now preparing for their competition on February 4th at Deering High in Portland. Competing this year are students from both the junior and senior classes. Krista Ellis, Craig Farnham, Amy Ryan, Becky Racine, Richard Daigle, Holly Morrison, Chris Pangway, Tim Gill, and John Roger make up this year's team. Tracy?
The Wells High School National Honor Society sponsored a dance Saturday night, and from 7:30 to 9 o'clock, a dance contest took place. It proved to be a success as a large number of students cheered the contestants on. Congratulations to Tony Burpee and Brandy Terrian, who walked away with first prize. National Honor Society members will be selling posters after the holiday season is over. Also, the next meeting will be on January 5th, and members are reminded to make sure their dues are paid. Following an old Wells High School tradition, the second annual Holiday Assembly will be held on December 23rd. The assembly will be performed by students and faculty in the auditorium during 6th and 7th periods. Chorus and stage band will perform music, while 6th period drama class will present a skit, and the faculty will reprise "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," which was such a hit with last year's audience. The purpose of the assembly is to spread the holiday cheer. Last year there was a large attendance, encouraging this year's assembly to go on. Holly Weber got a chance to speak with Janet O'Donnell about the holiday assembly at Wells High.
Everyone gets ready for the holidays and catches the holiday spirit. So does Wells High in its own unique fashion. I'm here with coordinator of the holiday assembly, Mrs. Janet O'Donnell. Mrs. O'Donnell, exactly when will the assembly take place this year?
It's going to be on Friday afternoon. I think it'll take about one period, so it'll probably be period 7 on Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm. What's on the agenda for the assembly?
Well, not as much as we had first hoped would be on the agenda, but we are going to have selections by the stage band and also by the Wells High Chorus. They will have presented a concert on Wednesday, and so they're going to do excerpts from that for the school. And we'll also have a extravaganza done by the faculty called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
What part do you think usually gets the best reception from the students?
Well, this is only the second year that we've really had an assembly, but last year it was obvious to me that what the kids liked best of all was seeing the faculty up there kind of making fools out of themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of a good thing for kids to see, that we can have fun together and we can have fun in front of them too.
Okay, thank you. This has been Holly Weber with Ms. Janet O'Donnell. Now back to the studio.
Congratulations to Gus Dunham and Sarah Donahue, who have been selected as this month's co-op students. Coordinator for co-op, Bob Roach, said that these two students received the award due to their consistent work at their jobs and their ability to keep their grades up. Roach would also like to thank the Ogunquit Rotary, who through the co-op sent generous donations to both the SAD committee here at Wells and to Coach McDonough. The coach plans to purchase a power sled for the youth in the weight room. What's a better way to study art than to see it close up right before your eyes? The humanities and art classes feel it is a good way to look at exactly what art is. The two classes visited Faneuil Hall, the Garden Museum, and the Boston Museum of Fine Arts on Friday, December 16th. They left at 8 o'clock in the morning and returned around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Holly Weber recently had a chance to talk to a couple of students who attended this year's field trip.
After spending a day exploring exactly what art is, students will have a small idea of what art is all about. I'm here with Shannon Emerton, a student that went this year to Boston. Shannon, exactly what did you like the most about the field trip this year?
The Boston Museum of Art.
Do you think that seeing this in the art that was there will influence your art classes or your humanities class?
Yes, I think it helps a lot to see the variety of work done by famous artists.
Mm-hmm. How do you recommend this field trip for others who will be taking it in previous years?
I think it helps a lot to see parts of Boston that you usually don't take the time out to see.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. This has been Holly Weber, reporting for FYI News. Now back to the studio.
Wells High students ran into some problems during this otherwise normal trip to Boston on Friday. When the Wells group arrived at the Museum of Arts, they found rather tight security. More security guards and stricter rules are the result of certain visitors acting disorderly and even vandalizing art exhibits. Students were strongly urged to stay with chaperones and weren't allowed to the gift shop without a chaperone and the manager's consent. When a group arrived at the Gardner Museum, they also noticed more security. The Gardening Museum, which has always been free to visitors, will charge a fee starting the first of the year. These drastic changes are due to noisy visitors and deposits of gum found on some pieces of art. These changes posed inconveniences to some students. They were always being watched and sometimes couldn't get into the gift shops. However, with these changes, the museum officials hope to preserve the art they have so that next year's visitors will get a chance to view them. We will now join Michelle Boudreau with this week's feature.
Well, Christmas is upon us, and every year I wonder just how the season affects certain individuals. Well, as a roving reporter, I'm determined to find the results. Excuse me?
Yes?
Could you come here for a minute?
Certainly.
Would you mind answering a question for me?
Oh, not at all.
Could you tell me about your most memorable Christmas?
Very interesting. I feel as though my most memorable Christmas was I received my first computer. His name was Alfie. The button upon his head was quite convenient as I pushed it, and it calculated all I needed to know.
Thank you. That was beautiful. You know, hearing those things makes you realize just what Christmas is all about. Let's see who else I can ask. Here are some individuals I can question. Would you mind answering for me a few questions about Christmas?
Not at all.
Tell me a little bit about what you like for Christmas, or what you like about Christmas.
What I like for or about?
About? Yeah.
I like a lot of things. I like hanging the stockings. I like the pre-Christmas get-togethers.
Those are fun. Do you remember that one we had last year?
Oh, that's great. That's really great.
A couple of You know what I like? I like getting presents.
Yes, we all like getting presents.
giving presents more. I like getting presents better.
I think Missy's in the spirit of Christmas a little bit more.
Giving, not getting.
That's beautiful.
I could care less if I even got one present.
Oh, not me. I want a leather
Good.
coat. I want a new car.
Well,
I want...
you know, that's all the time we have for today. You know,
It was
I am so excited for Christmas. That's all we have for today, though. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Good evening and welcome to FYI Sports. I'm Missy Chase.
And I'm Holly McHale. Last week, the Wells Warrior varsity boys basketball team earned their first 2 wins of the season, improving the record to 2 wins and 3 losses. These wins were against Scarborough and Marshwood. Against Scarborough, senior Rob Lambert scored 28 points to lead Wells to a 64-44 victory on the road. Lambert also led the way to the victory over Marshwood by hauling down 20 rebounds in Wells' 67-54 home victory. The game was decided in the fourth quarter when Wells scored 10 points in a row to take a 5-point lead. Wells JV boys also won their first 2 games of the season against Scarborough and Marshwood. Wells' next game is Thursday on the road against Wyndham. If you were a freshman boy and were asked to play JV basketball for the experience, what would your response be? Mike Eardley had the chance to ask 4 freshman boys who got this opportunity.
I'm here with 4 freshmen, Greg Flagg, Ray Arcan, Walt Lambert, and Michael Roach. They've been given the opportunity to play JV basketball. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
How do you feel like playing basketball?
I like to play basketball on the JV because it gives me a lot more experience, and I really like the coach because he's really good, and I've played with most of the people before, and we work really good together, and it's just a lot easier for those things.
Walter, how do you like playing JV basketball?
I think playing JV basketball is very good, and it can only benefit us by playing older players which are only better than us.
Ray, do you think that the experience of playing JV basketball as a freshman is going to help you or hurt you down the road?
I feel it'll help me because I play against older kids as me being a freshman and other kids being juniors and sophomores. It'll help me because I get to know the other players and I can work on how not to play other players when I see them in my senior and junior years.
Michael, you had the chance to play varsity basketball, but you chose not to. What influenced you to just play JV?
What influenced me was just I don't feel that I'm quite ready, whether it's my strength or maturity. I'm a freshman. I'm going to be playing against like juniors and seniors. And I'm just not ready. And also, my grades will benefit because I'm not going to be doing both things. So it's just going to be a lot easier for me.
This has been Mike Ergley reporting for FYI.
Some people call it desire, some people call it heart. But whatever you call it, the Wells girls varsity team showed it on Thursday night in a close game in Elliott. Unlike their preseason meeting, in which Marshall opened up a 28-8 lead in the first quarter, Wells stayed in check with the Hawks for most of the first quarter, going into the second quarter with only a 4-point deficit. Wells' problems came in the second quarter, allowing the Hawks to take a 36-25 lead into the locker room. Wells challenged most of the second half, but was unable to catch up with the Hawks. Holly McHale played a strong inside game, scoring 19 points and grabbing 22 rebounds, while Karen Link scored 11 from the outside. Holly Morrison played a strong defensive game. The JV girls strung 2 wins together to improve their record to 3-1. The girls outplayed Kennebunk and Scarborough in every category, beating them 51-26 and 57-33 respectively. The Warriors were sparked by Carrie Sheehy, who had 12 points against Kennebunk, and Alicia Toohey, who dumped in 14 against Scarborough. The Warriors brought their 3-1 record into Marshwood, hoping to make it 3 in a row. However, despite 14 points by Carrie Sheehy, the Warriors lost a tough one, 41-36. Holly?
The Warrior wrestling team is working hard to hold on to their impressive 8-1 record. The team defeated Freiburg last Wednesday and added another win recently in a tri-meet against Trape and Camden. The Warriors gave up first place to Camden with a score of 46-26, but stayed tough to demolish Trape 54-21. They compete next in the Belfast Christmas Tournament on Tuesday, December 27th. Also, mark your calendars for December 30th, when Wells will host the 4th annual Atlantic Invitational Meet. With over 10 teams competing, the day is sure to be packed full of exciting competition. The meet begins at 10 a.m. The Warrior Indoor Track Team had this Saturday off, but for some individual team members, the competition continued. The meet was sponsored by TAC and was open to all runners in the league. Wells runners Bessie Kelly and Adam Zoyce competed in this meet. Kelly clinched second place in the hurdles, while Zoyce finished 6th in the 1,000 meter. The team's next meet is January 7th at Bowdoin College. Missy?
Most people go to Las Vegas to gamble, but Marty Ryan visited Las Vegas last week to attend to some business. Mr. Ryan attended the National Interscholastic Athletic Administration Association's annual conference, along with 34 other directors from Maine. They joined about 250 athletic directors from all over the United States. The conference involved 26 workshops and was sponsored by over 280 companies, such as Spalding, Champion, and Nike. Ryan departed by plane on December 9th and returned on December 15th. Mike Gergley had a chance to catch up with Mr. Ryan upon his return.
Hello, Mr. Ryan. Mike. How you doing? What are some of the lectures you attended?
Well, I was fortunate to attend a number of sessions. There were about 70 workshop sessions that took place throughout the conference. Unfortunately, many of them run at the same time, so you have to kind of pick and choose what you're going to attend. I was able to see some. For instance, the Illinois State Association has a program on packing the place. It's a method in which they promote their sales to get people to attend their games. One of the unique ideas they threw out was that one coach, one athletic director, put $100 in $1 bills on half the floor and gave someone who drew out of the audience 30 seconds to see how many bills they could pick up, and they could pick up 67. That wasn't the problem so much as that all the rest of the fans came on to clean the rest of the floor, so that wasn't such a good idea. But I saw that workshop and attended a workshop that involved orientation and in-service programs for your coaches. The formula for survival, laughter is one of the presentations. Decision-making and organization for an athletic director, and a variety of things motivational for the athletic director's position.
I understand that you had a chance to take a test. What was that test about?
Yeah, I was a student for a number of days preparing for the exam. The National Athletic Directors Association are now in the process of trying to upgrade their profession somewhat by certifying athletic directors throughout the country. And there are 5,000 members to the National Association, and 170 applied to take the test. 101 qualified to take the test, and I was fortunate to be one of them. There were 2 people from the state of Maine. Keith Lancaster from Oxford Hills also qualified. So we took an exam for an hour and a half on Sunday morning in Las Vegas. And the results of that is not yet known. We won't know that until after the first of the year. But if you're successful in the exam and it covered a variety of realms and responsibilities for an athletic director, you would become what's called a certified athletic administrator.
That's great. Now you also got a chance to do a report.
I was fortunate to be asked to present at the national conference. I consider that quite an honor and quite a responsibility. And I was very happy to have an opportunity to talk about some of the great things we do here at Wells High School. In fact, FYI was one of the things that I alluded to as part of our methods to communication to the parents in the community. And I talked on a variety of things and talked about the relationship between the cable TV company as an example. I brought examples of our school newspaper and the bulletin board that's published by the local district, and a wide gamut of things, and talked about where we've come from in the last 10 years, especially athletically, but also curriculum-wise, and where we are now and where we'd like to go. And it was received pretty well. I was fortunate to speak with a gentleman from Oceanside, California, an athletic director and football coach, and also a gentleman from Brown Deer, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This has been Mike Gergley reporting for FYI. Have a Merry Christmas.
That's all for sports this week. This has been Missy Chase
and Holly McHale.
And from the both of us,
we wish you a very happy holiday. We've now joined Karen Link for this week's editorial.
Many people visualize the holiday season as a constant round of parties, going to a friend's house, enjoying the food, talk, and sometimes alcohol, and then driving home. There's another group of people who visualize the holiday season as a constant round of parties. But this group concentrates more on the consequences that can occur when partygoers leave a party after drinking alcohol. This group, called Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, or MAD, are sponsoring a campaign this holiday season called Tie One On. They're urging people to tie a red ribbon on the antenna or mirror of their car. This ribbon is to signify that you are a sober driver. The Students Against Driving Drunk organization at Wells High School will provide ribbons for students. This holiday season, I'm asking you to tie one on, a red ribbon that is.
The Wells Algonquin Health Association offers much to the communities it serves. This organization and volunteer members share a goal of wanting to help the neighbors of the community by meeting their health care needs. The association provides 2 scholarships for Wells High graduates entering a health field. They also purchase new clothing and food for Thanksgiving and Christmas baskets in coordination with other community groups. The thrift shop is still located at the Blair House on Route 1, but has moved to a larger area next to Creative Cutters. They are in need of volunteers, so if you'd like to help out, please call or stop by. On December 14th, the business law and communication classes toured the Portland Superior Court. Students were able to sit in on criminal cases and get a feel of law enforcement. One case the students took great interest in was an extortion case. After the case, they had a chance to speak with the district attorney. The DA talked about how the court goes about deciding whether or not the defendant is guilty or innocent. The students also had a chance to speak with the jury before the case had begun. Jury members explained that it is their job to sort out evidence and facts to conclude their decision. Business law teacher Jay Moore and his students really enjoyed learning about the Portland Superior Court and their process of criminal justice. Jen Flagg talked to Mr. Jay Moore about the trip.
Students got a chance to experience law enforcement on the field trip to the Portland Superior Court with Mr. Jay Moore. Mr. Moore, why did you decide to take the students to the Superior Court?
Well, last year we went to Biddeford District Court, and that deals mostly with civil cases, I believe, at Biddeford. And we decided that this year we wanted to view a criminal case, and we were told that Portland Superior Court dealt mostly with those, so that's why we went there this year.
What were the advantages of taking the students to this court?
Well, I think the biggest advantage was that the justice and the district attorney talked to the group of students as well as the teachers before the trial took place and explained what was going to happen. So I think that individual lecture by the judge helped us a great deal.
How are you as a teacher affected by the criminal cases?
Well, I haven't been to court a lot in the past, and so I learned a lot. I think I learned just as much as the students did, so I think I benefited greatly.
What were the students' reactions?
They seemed to get into the case quite well. As a matter of fact, they really didn't want to leave. We had to leave after about an hour, and they wanted to stay to see what the outcome was, but we weren't able to do so.
Having knowledge of law in their business law class, how were they bettered by that when they went to the court?
Well, I just think that, we talk about it in class every day, and I think them being able to see it and experience that will help them out.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. This has been Jennifer Flagg for FYI News. Now back to the studio.
Excitement filled the hearts of Wells High journalism students this week as they were able to make a switch from the first floor journalism workroom to the new larger floor on the third floor. The move is a part of the expansion, which is now nearly complete. The mezzanine will also be opened at the beginning of March. Only seniors will have the privilege of eating in this new section. This decision was made by the mezzanine committee consisting of a group of students. The school library is also getting into the fun. They will be closed December 19th through January 6th as they rack away books for the construction that will take place over vacation. The new addition will allow more books, space, and students for the library in the future. Tracy?
Wells Junior High has started production on a school newspaper. The newspaper evolved from a non-credit journalism course offered at the junior high during an activities period. The students chose an activity which they would like to participate in, and they meet 2 days a week. The advisor of this course is Mrs. Audrey Grumling. Grumling has an extensive background in journalism and now currently works at the York County Coast-Star and also for the Wells-Ogunquit Community School District as the Public Information Officer. She takes advantage of her position at the Star to use their computer to print the kids' stories. The students will lay out their 4-page paper themselves. They're also responsible for peer editing each other's work. This course was initiated by Miss Donna Thompson, who approached Grumling with the idea after students had expressed an interest in journalism. Through her instruction, Grumling hopes the students will understand that through journalism, you have the opportunity to go many places, meet different people, and get a look at things you wouldn't be able to normally. Jen Flagg spoke with Miss Donna Thompson about the journalism course.
I'm here at Wells Junior High School with Mrs. Donna Thompson, one of the coordinators for the Spirit of Wells Junior High newspaper. Hi, Mrs. Thompson.
Hi, Jen.
Why did you start the new journalism program?
The journalism program and creative writing course that has been offered was a result of student interest. And Mrs. Grumbling and myself made a decision to come up with something that the kids seem to want as part of their school. And as a result, we have the newspaper, which is, and we're in the process of getting out our first edition, which we hope to have out by Friday of this week, before Christmas vacation.
Okay. How do the students feel about the journalism program this year?
This is something new, Jen, and we're just kind of getting a feel for it through the students. We're hoping at this particular point in my course, there's an interest in newspapers, there's an interest in doing creative writing, doing a literary magazine, and then we have students that are basically in the course just to learn a little bit more about creative writing. So I have kind of a mixed bag of students that are there.
How do you feel about the program?
I'm excited about it. I hope that it gets off the ground, and I hope that the interest continues with the students, and we're hoping to continue this next semester.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Thompson, for your time.
Thank you, Jen.
This has been Jennifer Flagg for FYI News. Now back to the studio.
Tonight's the night for the annual holiday concert featuring Wells High Chorus and Band. Special appearances will be made by show choir and stage band, as well as solos and duets from the chorus. The performance will begin at 7:30 p.m. There will be no admission charge, but donations will be accepted. Mathematics teacher Monique Culberson was honored last Thursday night at the State Capitol building in Augusta. She received the President's Award in Teaching Mathematics. Culberson received a plaque that was signed by the Governor of Maine and other professionals involved in the award program. Culberson also received a grant from the program. In the spring, she plans to attend the National Conference of Teachers in Mathematics, to be held in Orlando, Florida. We'd like to end our program with a story for the Christmas season. A mother and her son had been Christmas shopping. They were stopped at a traffic light when 5-year-old Jamie began to choke on the food he was eating. The mother didn't know what to do, so she jumped from the car and pulled her choking son out. He couldn't breathe, and she was ready to turn him upside down. Suddenly, a man in the next lane sprang from his van, took the child from her arms, and performed the Heimlich maneuver. The food caught in Jamie's throat dislodged and he was able to breathe again. The man jumped back into his truck and took off. The mother doesn't know the man who saved his son's life, but she knows who he is. It was Santa Claus. After taking a break for the holiday season, we'll see you for our next show on January 11th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jason Cheek.
And Tracy Dickerson.
Merry Christmas.